this computer. Okay, guys. All right. So, everyone, welcome to the call. This is the first first recording of the Sigma Algo indicator. All right. So today is Wednesday, October 23rd. From today, tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday, I will be doing calls on this system, going over this system, back testing this system, putting this system on different assets, different things you might be interested in using, trading, utilizing this system. Today is a overview of how the system works, educating you guys on the in and outs of what creates this system, the menu settings, and then the rest of the week we're going to take that and then go on different pairs and go back test some things so you guys can understand how it works day in and day out, and then from there you'll have questions in terms of more intricate stuff of, oh, what is the ATR? What is the, we'll get into those things as we continue throughout this week. All right. So if you're ready for that, just type a one in the chat for me so I can continue on. Cool. Now, when you sign up for the Alpha or the Sigma package, you're automatically going to get access. Just make sure you type in your TradingView username and your Discord username on the menu pop up. Okay. You're going to see it here in indicators. You're going to go to invite only scripts. When you go to invite only scripts, you're going to see all the indicators there. Obviously mine's a little bit different from yours. So let me, you're going to see it all in the invite scripts, and mine's already plotted here. So you go add it to your chart. You go to settings. You're going to scroll down. There's a consensus. Type agree to add to chart. This is just a consensus disclosure. Yeah, it also appears in your alerts, like that you've gotten access. Yep. So it's gonna appear here. You just type in the word agree, lowercase, and press OK. That means that you agreed to, it's the liability of utilizing an automated system. It just protects you and me from everything. And then you're gonna see this band pop up. By default, there's some other settings that are on by default. And as I make some updates, I'm going to make updates to the default settings of this, by the way, as well, um, including this table. It's a little wide. So you can see it's a high-low band based off Renko, and it's giving you these buys and sell signals. Now, I do have a video on my YouTube channel. Okay, so let's just go here really quickly. You go to YouTube and you go to Sigma Algo and you go down to the Sigma Renko suite. All right. Because next week we're going to go over the Sigma Renko suite. And this is the more advanced version of the Sigma Algo. The reason why I want you guys to watch at least this first video is to understand what Renko is. All right. So we're going to go over Renko real swiftly here, but I go into more depth inside this video. All right. So you go to the Sigma Algo page, Sigma Algo, and I have playlists going from the single Algorenko suite, session breakout suite, and also all these recordings, algorithm by algorithm, will have their own playlist on the YouTube channel. Okay. So this is where you're going to find all the educational content, anything that I post. Understood? So let's go back to the chart. And here are the settings, okay? So I'm going to swiftly go over Renko. And the Renko is a candlestick type. All right. So you have your regular candlesticks that you guys are familiar with. It's time based, open, high, low, close, right? Then you guys know what Hakanashi is, and then you have Renko. The thing is with Renko is you have to understand that it's not time based, it is price based. So each one of these bricks represent a closure of price in that direction based on either the volume or the pips in points amount. What does this mean? Right? Let's just hide these for now. Think of it like a house. You got one box, and let's just call this 37 points, right? If that is what my settings are, that means that if I close above this box, another 37 points, another Renko brick is going to form. If price closes 37 points underneath that box, it's going to form underneath it. All right. So it's just like layering bricks on a house based on what you set it to. So all these bricks, if you go to your settings here, chart settings, you have open, high, low, close. Traditional means pips and points. You have the ATR, which is the volume, volatility, and then you have percentage. This is actually pretty new. So on traditional, this is set to 20. This is what I use on NASDAQ on the 1 minute and 5 minute chart. You can go lower. Some of you have come from other places, such as like View for a second, for example. They use second charts and they set the shit to 4. You can do that if you choose to. The algos can support that. But I use 20. All right. So 1 minute, 5 minute charts, I use 20. The higher you go, the more that this is going to have to be updated and played with. This is a significant part of your back testing when it comes to using the MM Sigma Algo and utilizing the MM Sigma suite because it's all based on Renko. The difference is I made it so it's a band that emulates on top of regular candlestick charts. That is the only difference, is utilizing the same calculations that you see here, but there. Now, why is that important? Because you see right here, you see how it's printing that last candle and it's a little bit faded? This is subject to change if this is obviously to close higher, right? Renko can wick all the way down here and then close higher based on the close. And that's how you're going in that direction. But you can also see how easy it is to see your support and resistance levels. It's very easy to know when you get a breakout. Boom, you got a breakout on this one. You take that trade for, you know, 2 bricks, 3 bricks. It's a really simple way that you can utilize your trading strategy, right? And this is what I formulate the MM Sigma on and the Renko Suite on, right? The traditional way of using this is finding out which pips and points or ATR value you want to utilize, and then you figure out a pattern in which you're counting bricks to go in that direction. And especially when you want to line it up, this is a good way to get support and resistance levels as well. You got that break, you got that retest, you got that, and you're going to call all of this down, right? And I'm going to show you guys how to utilize this with the systems. So let's go and play with some settings real quick. So you can see what this looks like at the 20. Let's set this to 10, right? So you see now this is what it looks like where each box represents 10 points in price movement in that direction. You can measure it. Take this ruler, pick a box, measure it from the high and low, and you can see that's 10 points. Obviously, I'm not perfect because, but you see that's 10 points. Each one of these boxes represent 10 points in closure in that direction. Any questions so far? Okay. You can change it to utilize ATR values, which is the average true range. And the length of the average true range means that it's measuring the volatility, the volume of the last 20 candles and coming up with an average price of movement. It is an average based on volume movement of the past 20 candles. Make sense? So this works specifically well for assets like crypto, NQ, crypto futures, things that actually have tangible volume behind it. It's not going to work well in Forex because Forex doesn't have a way to measure volume. There's no decentralized banking system that shows us volume in the Forex markets. But this will work really well in markets that do show volume. Crypto, futures, even options is one of the same. It's CME data. That makes sense? I know there's going to be a lot of information in terms of the beginning of it compared to that. This is This is actually the more complicated stuff of understanding the basic structure. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna turn this back to traditional, and then I'm gonna put this at 20. All right, because that's how I like to utilize it. Nice and smooth. You can even utilize this chart to mark out your highs and lows very easily. It's very straight lines, right? Very straight lines. And then you can just go back and switch to candles. And then all that fluff gets taken out for you. You see where everything's at. And then you can see you marked up this lot all the way here, right? And you have this range that you can play with. Cool. So let's get back to the system. The Sigma Algo is a trend-based system. Daily range indicator over the ATR. It's actually one of the same, but I'll get into that on another time. So you open up the settings, you type in your agree. All right. Let's pay attention over here to this table. This table represents all the statistics that you need at a glance. All right. So you have your EMA 20, 50. You have 250 sitting here, actually. And these settings are towards the bottom here on the moving average settings. So you can have different time frames for these things. So you can see you have the 4 hour, daily, and weekly. And this is showing you how far price is away from those moving averages on the higher time frame. You can utilize this for confirmation while you're on the 1 minute. So I'm trying to trade on the 1 minute, and I see that on the 4 hour, I am 9% away from the 20 moving average, 2%, you know what I'm saying? 20%, 20% away from the 50 on the 4 hour, which means that I'm in a downtrend and I can safely look for sells on that 1 minute time frame that I'm on. That makes sense? You can change it accordingly, right? Let's say this is now 100 and I can change the EMA from Hull, weighted, volume weighted, smooth, Alma. These are things that you will play with because they're just different EMA types, moving average types, right? So I'm on the 1 minute time frame. And on this table, at a glance, I can see how far price is away from these higher time frame moving averages. On top of that, if I go here, I can show them. Let it load. No, it's actually because it's so far compared to the higher time frame. So that's something I might have to bug fix real quick, but that's not a problem. But you could also use them as stricts, which is filters. So you can see these buy signals disappear. So if you guys saw that. So actually, let me write down that bug. Just to show you not everything is perfect. So I'll make that quick update. But you guys see how you can utilize it as a filter, right? So you see all those buy signals and all that just disappear after you click on the strict, which means that if you have only one of these set on the higher time frames, right? Then you can see that buy signal plot because on the higher time frames, the 20 moving averages, you got that cross. I press strict on the other ones, it disappears. It acts as a filter. All right. The source of the moving averages, open, high, low, close, show MA labels, and then you can utilize the current time frame or the higher time frame. And we're going, oh, this is actually probably why I wasn't showing. right there. I'm sorry. So you can actually see the higher time frame moving averages right here and see how they can act as a filter. Price is underneath it, and we're only getting sell signals. All right. Press one in the chat if this makes sense to you guys. All right. Now you're seeing these exits. Exits means if price crosses one of these, you'll get an exit signal. It would tell you to get out of the trade. All right. That's all that means. So you have showing it and it plots it on the chart. You just have to make sure you click whether you want it on the current time frame or the higher time frame, right? And you have to select the time frame in which you're utilizing that filter on. So this can be the 15 minute. You change this to the 15 minute. You're going to see this slightly change a little bit. Sometimes TradingView be tripping, just trying to load information, and all you got to do is reload it. So this is the 1 hour moving averages, and you can see how they're different, right? You're underneath all of them. So you're on the 5 minute time frame, and you're getting shown the 1 hour moving averages as a filter. That's how it works. And you can change the different moving averages, all these other things. You can change the colors of the moving averages. You can select the higher time frame, or you can select the current time frame, and you're going to get the current time frame moving averages to use as a filter. And you can see these change in about now. Okay. So these are ways that you can utilize this as different filters and seeing what works for the different assets you guys want to trade. Do you trade off the Renko or just for chart analysis? I trade off the Renko. This is the how Dalian trades. I like trading with Renko, right? So I'm going to turn all this off again, and then we're going to move down the table. All right. Here, the ATR, account size, percent risk, stop loss in pips, and lot size. All of our systems have a built-in risk calculator. Okay? So this means, hey, Dalian, I just got a 200K prop firm account. I want to risk 2% on the trade every trade. When I update that, you're going to see it. Account size is 200K. Percent risk is 2,000, which is a 4K trade. Stop loss and pips is based on the live signal. So we're getting a live signal right now, and it's 53.2 points. Lot size is a 7.5. All of there for you. I think that's pretty straightforward, right? You can change your account size here, change your risk percentage. Hey, I only want to risk 0.5. Press enter. You're going to see percent risk is going to change. 0.5, $1,000. Your lot size changed accordingly. That makes sense? Type one in the chat if you guys understand that part. And also keep in mind that a lot of these templated systems, the consensus, the money management, the trade management, and the session filters are going to be cohesive across all of our systems. So you're going to see this same thing across every system we have. Can it be in ticks for futures instead of pips? Yes, it does that automatically. Just not this one. I have to make that update. So ticks conversion for table risk management. Done. Okay. Here, um, when you come to the money management settings, right, this is going to reflect here. You have different stop loss types. Okay, so this is very important. The stop loss types, you drop down, you got percentage, ATR, and pips in points, right? If you're using the ATR, you can select the different links and the multiplier. Now, before we continue, for those who don't know what the ATR is, again, please go to my YouTube channel and you're going to see how-to videos from previous company, my Money Moves Investments playlist. And these are like my early videos, but I do have a video that goes over the ATR right here. What is the ATR? Calculate your risk. You can watch that video and learn about the ATR. Okay. The ATR is a very important indicator that we use for risk management and volume analysis. All right. ATR length, percentage, if you want to risk a percentage based on the trade. And if it's pips and points, I have all of mine set to 50. That's how I trade. 50, TP1 is 25 points, TP2 is 50, that's my 1-to-1, and then take profit 3 is 100 points. And then you can enable TP2 and TP3. Now, risk to reward is a multiplier of your stop loss. If you select pips and points in this regard, here are the settings you're going to use if you're using pips and points. If you're using percentage or ATR, you're going to be using the risk to reward levels. I kind of want to organize this a little bit, maybe make it shorter, to have it laid out across. So I'll probably fix that. But do you guys are you guys confused on that specifically in any shape or form? Cool. Let's scroll down a little bit. I need to remove that. I keep forgetting. Table visuals, remove the risk calculator. All right. So now we have table visuals. This shows position details. I'm going to remove this. Don't worry about it. In the MA stats table, you click these on and off, it's going to disappear from this table. That's all that means. Um, Scroll down and you can change the location of the table, left, right, top, center. You know, it's a big table, so you're probably just going to keep it on the right side. You don't want it in the middle of your screen, right? Um, Trade management settings. Now, if you know that you have a bias based on your own analysis, maybe you use TradeDevy and TradeDevy said for the long term, we may be looking for buys on NQ due to this reason, right? Because Trump's in office, you know, technology companies are probably going to prosper a little bit, da 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 da. It can have it so you only take longs. So now you see all those sell signals disappear. Okay. Or just shorts. And now all the sell signals should plot back up. All right. Or both. You wanted to take all types of trades because you're market neutral. You just want to make money any way you can. All right. Now, here we also have our money management settings for break evens. Okay. So I'm actually going to do this so you guys can see it live. We have break even after TP1, break even after it hits take profit 2, no break even, trailing stop structure. Okay. Um, I actually hid the trailing stop structure, so I'm going to fix that as well. Okay. Um, but and then offset is 5, which means that we hit take profit 1 in this circumstance. Stop loss gets moved to break even, but into profit 5 to cover spread if you're trading Forex. Okay. So I'm actually going to demonstrate that. Let's do a replay of this signal right here. We got that sell. All right, we got that sell. Then you get that box. You know, all of our systems come with that box that you guys see, right? Here's your stop loss, take profit one, two, and three. Boom, boom. We hit take profit one, stop loss was moved to break even immediately. And you can see that reflect here on the table as well. On the bottom, it says position details. It will give you your entry and then it will give you the status of it, your stop loss and the price. Here it updates in real time. It says we are at break even. TP1, 25 points, gives you the update. We are hit. Two and three according in the same way. And you can see right here, if you continue looking at the table, all of that updates in real time. We haven't hit take profit three yet, but point proven, right? So that's how that works. Show signals, self-explanatory. You turn this off, those buy and sell labels disappear as well. Volumetric trend. All right, before I get to the rest of the more advanced stuff, questions that you guys want to type into the chat real quick. What's move stop loss to TP? Move stop loss to TP. Good question. Instead of it being like an offset where it's moving to the entry, it's going to move the stop loss to take profit one, as you can see right there. Did you see that? Yeah, once TP1 is hit, it's going to move the stop loss to that take profit one. And you can see price just kept going. And as it hits take profit two, it should do that as well as it gets further away from price. Could you adjust it to take 80% and let the rest go? So in the strategies, you can. That's something, remember I told you guys there's the study version and then the strategy version of every system. Those versions have it where you can have runners and percentage taken off of trade, stuff like that. Yes. But that's more in depth in the MT5 EAs. It's hard to kind of do that on the TradingView systems, to be honest. But on the future side, if you have more than two contracts or using micros, right, you can definitely do that. With the terminal, the SL will be moved automatically correct without using us to do it manually. Everything is coming from the system. So the alerts of move to break even will come from the system. Yes. Okay. All right. I'm gonna move on now. So enable alert settings, right? This is where all the alerts are. You click on it for all the alerts that you want. You press OK. You come here to the name of the algo on the trading view on the top left. Click these three dots. Boom. Add alert. Bow. Right? And what you're going to do is condition any alert function call. And that's coming from those function calls we just checked. Right? Sigma Algo. And you press create. Open-ended alert, alert name, and then it's going to give you the alert in the format that you want. Right? And yeah, let me just, yep. It's going to give you an alert of how you want it. You can go into the notifications. You can notify an app. You can send an email. You can play a sound. You guys don't need the webhook URL. And you just press create and it creates an alert for you. And it will send to you in a format like a signals chat. It will send you in the same format that you see in your position details, as long as you have it enabled. Yeah, the text works perfectly on the mobile app. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Now, volumetric trend. So as you know, volume is a big thing of how I trade. Volume momentum is how I filter out the choppiness of trades. I am a trend trader at heart, even though I can do the SMCs and stuff. So show volumetric trend. Here's the trend length, trend momentum, bar distance, and trend source. So we're just going to go over that really quickly. I enabled that, and you can see how this line, it looks like a super trend kind of, but it's not exactly a super trend. It's measuring both volatility and momentum. Okay. So you can scroll, let me condense this a little bit, and you can see how you have this line that's going. All right. You can see that buy label here. So let's click on the settings again. And all we're going to do is press strict. This buy label should disappear. This sell label should disappear. Let it load. So now you only get buys when you're above volume. You only gain sells when you're in selling volume. Yes, you guys are gonna get the strategy tester for this in the next week. But you can visually see this thing kills. It's a very simple system and it murders. It's a scalping machine. So, and then these are settings that you can play with once you do have the strategy settings. All right. I'm not gonna go too crazy changing all the settings here. These are just settings like band distance, for example. I changed this thing to 10. You're just gonna see the band be farther away from price. You get it? And that changes how it's going to flip because these things flip based on it touching that line and closing on the other side. All right. So if you make this band distance like this, you're filtering out all these buys. We had it at 2, and you see it's close enough, but giving you enough space where you're getting those smaller moves. You change this to 5. If it's choppy in a range, is there a way to remove that? We'll get to that in a second. Right? So you're changing the band distance, you're changing the way it kind of functions, right? So same thing with the trend length is measuring the past 10 candles to measure volume. Trend momentum is measuring the past 20 candles for momentum information, and that's how these lines get generated, okay? And the trend source, whether you're using the close, whether you're using the open high low, I always use the close or I use the open high low 4. That's how I do it, because then you get to the measurement of the average. Okay. Now, I am going to close this and take this off, let this reload, and we're going to talk about the high-low band again. This band that you see here. I kind of got a little bit out of order when we were talking about the Renko. We should have just went straight to the high-low band. So with the high-low band, remember it's a replicant of the Renko. All right. It's a more basic version. This is not the version that I recommend you putting on the Renko charts, but let's try it. All right. So you switch the charts to Renko. Both my high-low band are set to 20. The chart itself is set to 20. And you see you're getting all these trades on the Renko chart accordingly because they both match up. Make sense? So if you wanted to go into the settings and where is it? I'm sorry. And hide the band, which is what you see here, you're just going to get these buy and sell signals, show volumetric trend and strict. Now you're getting signals based on that. That makes sense? It's an emulation, but I am going to be honest. This version of the high-low band, I do not recommend doing this with. The Renko Sweet version is the one that you can do that with more comfortably. All right, that's the more advanced high-low band emulation, but doesn't mean that this one doesn't work. But I am going to be honest about that. Boom. All right. So show band is the same thing here, guys. Traditional ATR, source, close, or the high low. If you utilize the high low, it's going to change these entry types to be the high low of the previous band. All right, so I changed it to high low. You can see how these signals are going to change a little bit, right? So you can see you're getting more whipsaw signals here. So I always use the close and it smooths out all that information for me because the close of anything, you copy that from QuantView, cute. Go check how long I've been doing Renko when QuantView came out. Don't play with me like that. That's cute. So that's the high-low band. Okay. So now let's move down to the next section is the stepped moving average. It's like your regular moving average, but it's utilizing I don't want to say a delayed sequence, but it's a higher confirmation stepped moving average where you see it looks like staircases. All right. It looks like a staircase and you can change, like you see that band right there to tight niche moving average. You can change from Alma. BLP is a another volume thing that I used back in the day. Um, the volume moving average that I used back in the day. And then you have regular smooth, simple moving average and EMA. And then you can change the length. So if I wanted this at 50, and I know not everyone likes the colors that I choose, but you can choose the colors of all these different things to personalize it to your chart, right? To make it nice and pretty, however you guys want it. And then if I were to press strict, strict means is a filter, okay? And again, no sell signals are going to plot when price is above the band. No buy signals are going to plot when price is below the band. This is important for you guys to really understand because this is how the rules are made for your automation for all of our systems. Okay? Boom, boom, turn that off. Trail cloud settings. This is just the super trend. That's all this is. Show, show line. And it follows the same rules, guys. It's the same thing as the super trend. Strict exit. You can see the super trend plot right there. And you have like this nice cloud that if you visually needed that help to know when to stay in the trade, here you go. Okay. Strict exit, right? Exit just means like this buy signal, for example, it will just give you an exit signal, tell you to get out of this sell, and that's it, right? Really simple. Consider wicks. Fill cloud is that fill that you see, that little color in between the line and price. And then yeah, before we move to anything else, you guys need me to go over anything because now we're starting to get into the more oscillator stuff. Type of one in the chat if you guys are all good. All these options are pretty much preferences, or does it give you close to the same? No, they're all preferences. It's all, depending on your settings, is going to give you different signals. And that's what we want as a community, all using automations. But you can see is all still very profitable. Like, I don't think I need to give you guys a back test to kind of show that we hit in TPs and we can filter out the losses, right? Can you use this on SPY for options? Well, let's do that. Give me the ticker for it, please. Options, SPY. I asked you for, and I literally said it. That was me. I'll take that one. My brain stopped working for like 2.5 seconds. This the fuck? What happened here? What's good? So what's this? So do I have that? Because I remember I don't have that. Why don't I have that? What plan are you playing? Are you paying for? Because I remember TradingView had that before, but the reason why it wasn't a thing here is because a lot of people weren't paying for like the pro version or whatever the case may be. So I don't know why this ticker is not showing up. So SPY, this is why I don't fuck with options. 300, yeah. When this happens, remember every asset, and this is what you guys need to understand, because the price movements are different, right? That 20 point is going to be very, very different asset to asset because you see how that's only 582, right? That's what 50 points looks like here. This is actually a good example. So you saw how I had 50 points on NQ, but 50 points on NQ, if you look at the data, you look at the price, what's 50 points to a current price of 220,121 versus what is 50 points to a price of 559? You guys get what I mean by this? If I have a Renko size, right? Remember I told you it's like bricks, right? One brick the size of 50 points compared to the pricing of an asset that's in the 20,000s looks regular versus I go down to the couple of hundreds where 50 points percentage wise is damn near 10% or more of the overall price of the asset. That makes sense? I mean, I don't want to continue unless everyone types in one and understands this. Craig, is that the one from David, that guy on YouTube? Okay, good. So this means that if you're going to be trading different things, you have to optimize it. Okay? You got to play with it because this band is set to the ATR. So that's why it looks so smooth. It's working with the volume. If you trade SPY, right? A good way to understand what's a good size for it is SPY happens during New York session, right? We're on the 5 minute. So I would start from the 9:30 highs and lows, right? You're averaging 10 points. So if you wanted to go by pips and points in this circumstance, I go traditional and then I'll just go five or even less. So you can get those entries. But this is actually a snipe entry that you caught this one. What the fuck just happened here? Well, that's five. Oh, because it measures it. Okay. This is where I have to implement the ticks. Got it. Use ATR. ATR set to 10. And you're going to get those entries that you want. And it'll automatically adjust. That's something I have to fix. And you're seeing you're getting those sell signals accordingly and those signals. But yeah, you got that snipe right there at the top. So that works. Okay. Let's go back to NQ. I think so. And the reason why I say that is because DX just made Robinhood's terminal. So I think they have an API. All right. So we're going to get into the oscillators now. STC's settings. And you can see you have all these other things here, and you can see the sentiment. Um, so basically, the STC is an oscillator. All right. It's a MACD stochastic oscillator. This is all it is. It's this oscillator built in here, and it's built inside the algo as a filter. So this sell signal would have been validated by this. You can see how this says bullish STC status is because we're currently in this bullish setting right here. Now, this acts as a filter, all right? Strict, exit, you guys know what those means by now, but these are like the lengths cycle that you can play with to change, the optimization of this oscillator. This oscillator is built inside of here so we can measure momentum and volume. So this algo that's on your chart is one of the same as the oscillator you use as your confirmation. And to be honest, I made this system about 2 or 3 years ago, and I haven't really updated the internals. I'm not really a fan of the STC like this. I like to use the STC for your more snipe quick scalp trades. Like you can make an EA out of this because you can see that this buy, boom, snipe, boom, take that out. You would have got out right here, somewhere in this area, made some profit. Like this is a good scalping system. I'm going to replace the STC with the either RSI or TSI and utilize that. Okay. But these settings are the same settings in this oscillator. And I actually do have the oscillator version of this. So I'll post that up and that will be part. You guys will automatically have access by with that by the end of the day. All right. Then you have the DMI and EMA settings. All right. So this is pretty much the ADX. And for those that do not know what the ADX is, that's your chop filter. All right. So let's go to indicators, go to type in ADX and DI, right? And this is what it looks like. All right. You go into the settings and you can see if it's trending, this purple line is going to be above it. If it's not, you can see where we're chopping up here, you're going to be getting this in between these lines. All right. And then, DMI strict, ADX smoothing, all these settings, top levels for thresholds, top, bottom. I'll make a separate video on the ADX. I don't even use this much. To be honest, I don't think you need to. It lags a little bit. I put it in here for a student that wanted it, but trust me, give me like 2 weeks and this whole section is going to change. Where I'm going to put like the TSI for the more recent oscillators that we use. So I'm gonna be honest, you guys don't have to really focus on this midsection too much. Okay. I'm not seeing buy results. I just went over that. Go into your high-low settings and put ATR. Over the course of these next few days, we're going to go over different symbols and optimizing these symbols on the Sigma Algo so you guys know how to play with the settings, okay? Zigzag, this shows highs and lows, right? You can show the background, the length of the zigzag. I usually like to have that at 10. This just marks out market structure for you guys. And you can see the background represents the trend. White here is bearish, blue here high, low, right? Just a good way for you to visualize your highs and lows to help you out a little bit. It doesn't act as a filter or anything. It's just market structure. Okay. Now you also have your VWAP. Who here knows what a VWAP is? Volume weighted average price. Correct. So this should be easy. Here, 1 and 2, VWAP Strix. You guys know what Strix is your filter. Show VWAP, show VWAP 2. I am on the 5-minute time frame. This drop down allows me to choose what time frame I want my first VWAP to be. Daily time frame. Show the label, which you can see right here. Daily, daily close, weekly, weekly close. All right. And they update in real time as you just seen. Close label, the label, you can have them there from the previous week close to where we're at right now. Show VWAP 2, same thing. You have a drop down. You can choose week, 2 weeks, month, whatever. And these also act as Strix. They act as filters. So you have multiple different ways of filtering your trades, higher time frame filters, current time frame filters. I make 100 different systems, and really all you need is one. Do you guys understand now from that perspective? All right. Let's just go and keep moving. Chopper settings. All right. This is your RSI. So um, I actually posted this indicator not too long ago on my old company page. So I have to actually take that and revamp it for us. But let's just get the RSI so I can show you what that looks like. Okay. So the chopper is just the RSI that's utilizing, all right, thresholds to show whether you're in a choppy market or not. So choppy range thresholds in there is 60 and 40. So 60 at the high, 40 at the low. We're using an EMA. Smooth link is 50, right? So which means that let me show you here on this RSI. Boom. Do, 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 do. Style, visibility. This doesn't give you the threshold. MA settings. This doesn't give you the thresholds. That's weird. But let's just use horizontal lines. So I have mine set at 60, which is here. And then I have 40. Boom. It's under styling. You're right. It is under styling. Okay, so let's just change that. 60, 40. Right? You put that on your chart so you can understand. And then you go to the inputs and you do the same thing in your Sigma Algo. Press show 60/40, right? Anytime price is in that range, you can see from right here to right here is when we closed outside this box. So this is your chop filter, all right? This is a creative way we came up with to understand if we're in a momentum move. And based on the asset you're trading, you can play with this and find your threshold for what you want to trade. So you can see from here to here, we were within this threshold and we did not get out of it. It acts as a filter as well. Boom. No entry. These buy and sell labels should disappear. And you can exit when choppy. Done too. Okay. We went over the moving average settings earlier on this call. So I don't think we'll have to go over that again, right? And here are your sessions. This is also something that's coherent across all of our systems. Hey, I only trade NQ. I only trade SPY. I only trade gold. Okay, so one time zone. Select your time zone. I'm New York. History. That just means you're going to see the other ones in the past, right? Precession range and strict. Look back is one. Show you what that means in a second. New York. Show New York. 9 to 7, which means that everyone was not here this morning. Yeah. Which means that you're going to see my session pop up box, right? Of 9 to, and it's going to continue to 17. I usually have this set to like 15:30, right? So like in the next, damn, it's only 2. I thought it was a lot later. So like in the next hour, okay? This up here where it says pre-session range and strict, you can see this is the pre-session high and low, and I'm only looking for sales outside of that and the strict entries, which means that everything outside of New York is gone. I'm only taking trades during New York session. I'm gonna wait, and then you have Tokyo, you have London, and these are just like changing your line styles of the box and just different little things. Alerts from when the start session starts and ends, opening range breakouts. You know, you can also have that selected here, I believe. Opening range, yes. So if you also want to incorporate the opening range, give it a second to load. Here's your opening range. And then opening range look back in minutes, you can change that to 60 and you're going to get your opening range as well in here. So that box should extend a little bit more. Okay. So, you know, I kind of want to preference that I consider this the most basic of our systems. Um, and because I made a more advanced version of this in the Renko suite. Okay, just to put that in, but this is still one of the more favorite systems for newbies. Like this is a great beginner system. Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, I really don't see a lot of people not using this system long term, and you might just add one of the other 15 I drop to your repertoire. But I think people really love this system. Um, you know, obviously there's still a little bit bugs as times of this recording, but I got all this stuff done pretty fast, and now I'm gonna come back and revamp all of our systems piece by piece, week by week, right? Change out a few things, organize it, but for the most part, it's gonna be the same. Okay. And yeah, now at this time, I will take any last questions regarding the MM Sigma algo before I stop recording this call. And keep in mind that tomorrow and the rest of the week is when we're going to go over settings on different assets. So if you need me to go over anything specifically within this system right now, now is the time to unmute yourself and ask me. Eric, please ask that question tomorrow. I want to section off these videos You know what I'm saying? To be organized for people that are like, okay, I understand the system. Let me go to the video that he went over gold on this system. Like I kind of want to make it that organized so people just have their information how they want it. How does this perform on higher time frames? Let's go to the 1 hour. Now remember what I told you about Renko, right? The 20, it's very different on the same asset, higher time frames, right? So one, sessions don't apply on the higher time frame. So let's take this off, right? And then let's go to the high-low band and let's start off, right? This is at 20 points closures, right? On the traditional. 20 points. I'm on the 1 hour of NQ. I always start off. Oh, this is actually on the ATR. I'm sorry. So this is at the ATR length of 10. So volume is showing this type of entry, right? On NQ. Um, this is just something you have to play with. Go to traditional, and I already believe I'm probably going to have to put this at, let's just measure one of these candles. Look, that's at 5 points, right? That's 200 points right there. So let's go and put these at, let's just see what it looks like at 25. 1 hour time frame, each one of the bricks represents at 25. Like I kind of just find median points, right? And you're seeing that it kind of smooths out and you're like, okay, 25 works, but let me look at 30, right? And then on top of that, when you guys have the strategy version of it, you'll see how it performs on different time frames. But long story short, yes, it works on higher time frames. You just have to adjust it to it. Pick one system, get used to it, and later add another system. Yep. Yes, sir. Yes.
Hey, so, oh, sorry.
I'll let you ask in 1 second, Gigi. I'm gonna just
Okay.
answer this. Yes, you're gonna be able to share. So in every one of for every system, there will be a category to that system. In that category in the Discord, there will be different channels. In those channels, as a community, I would love for you guys to share settings with each other. And of course, if I come up with settings, I will share them. Okay? Gigi, go ahead.
All right. So this is about the mobile view. So I was able to get it shown on my mobile view, which was really cool. The only thing was the table. It's not it doesn't like shrink for the mobile.
Yeah.
Um,
So
is
that
that a
that's
thing coming
that's
or
that's something I
hide
gotta
it?
fix because
Okay, no problem.
the older version of this had that because there was actually three different tables.
Gotcha.
So, like for example, this setting, that's why I just wrote down earlier. This setting show ATR risk calculator. The risk calculator was somewhere over here. And you know what I mean? And the positions tables was here and the STC table was here. So this what you guys are seeing is brand new in terms of table layout. And as a time of this recording, I was just, I kind of rushed in getting this table layout out to have 90% of it done. And then I'm taking the rest of the next weeks to organize all that. Long story short, mommy, I'm going to fix it. I'm going to fix all of it in terms of how it works on mobile view. You're going to be able to hide the table if you wanted to, all of that. Okay. But so far, I'm really glad you guys like these systems. Oh, top tier just posted. Oh, fuck. Here we go. Yes, I can't wait to jump around and play. I have gotten all winning signals since starting. Just the more. Listen, that's what I'm here for. All right. So, all right, cool. No other questions regarding the systems and this system and how it works. About the settings, not about other tickers. We're going to handle that tomorrow and the rest of the week. About how this thing works. 5, 4, 3, 2. All right. So I'm gonna stop the recording, guys. Thanks for watching and If you're watching this video on the YouTube channel, there will be a playlist, and throughout this week, we're going to go over other symbols and settings for symbols and going over the intricacies there. All right. Thank you. Let me